but to make sure that you'll be an example to others and show them how it's done. So you have to remain humble. All right. Verse 17. Be not overmuch wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why should thou die before thy time? So the Lord takes this very seriously. He wants you to remain humble because God resists the proud and giveth grace to the humble. All right. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 8 now. Deuteronomy 8. We're going to read Deuteronomy 8. We're going to start with verse 1. Deuteronomy 8 and verse 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall you observe to do, that you may live, and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord swore unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the ways which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee, and to prove thee, to know what was in thy heart, whether thou wouldst keep his commandment or no. So this is when he's talking to the children of Israel. He showed them many things. He kept them in the wilderness, and he showed them different miracles, different signs to make sure that they will be humble enough to trust him and believe on his word. Okay? Verse 3. And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man do not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord do man live. And that's a true statement. We got to make sure that we keep taking heed to his word, and we're living by his word. If he say be humble, that's one of the criteria. We must remain humble. All right? Let's go to Isaiah 2 now. Isaiah 2. We're going to go to Isaiah 2, and we're going to read verses 11, and we're going to skip around. Isaiah 2, and we're going to pick it up at verse 11. The lofty looks of a man shall be humble, and the haughtiness of man shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. All right, so we're supposed to be humble, okay? Because the Lord is the one who's going to be exalted. He's the one who's going to be puffed up and be exalted because he's the one created the heavens and earth. He has that right, okay? But is he like that? No. So we can't put ourselves above him, okay? Verse 12. For the days of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Because the Lord will bring you down low. Think about Manasseh, prime example. He brought him down low and he humbled him. All right. Verse 17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of man shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. Now that's the only one who could be puffed up. And he has every right to be that way. He can be that way. He can be put up on high because he is the most high. All right. Now let's go to James 4 now. James 4, and we're going to pick it up at verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. So if you have that pride in you and you're prideful in your country and your job, then you're an enemy to God. All right? Do you think that the scripture says in vain, the spirit that dwells in us lusts to envy? Verse 6. But he giveth more grace, wherefore he said, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. All right? Submit yourself therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinner, and purify your heart, ye double-minded. So we always have to remember to remain humble, because Satan, he knows what your desires are. He knows what you want to do, and he will use that to turn you against God. So we always have to remain humble. Okay. Verse 10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. That's all we need to do is humble ourselves in the sight of the Lord. He's the one who can lift us up. He's the only one that counts. Because man don't have the key to the lake of fire or the key for damnation for that matter. So you make sure you humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, because he's the one who can lift you up. Or he could be the one who can destroy you. All right. Verse 13. Go to now that you say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and gain. Whereof you know not what shall be on tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanish away. But that you ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or do that. But now you rejoice in your boasting. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good and do it not, to him it is sin. So we should always just make sure we don't think about tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself. So we got to make sure we humble ourselves enough and have the faith that the Lord is going to take care of us. He knows our needs. That's what we need to make sure we have to be really humble. Don't take it upon yourself to say, I'm pride, I'm going to make it happen. No, the Lord only allow you to make it happen. All right? Now, let's go to Matthew 23. Matthew 23. Matthew 23, and we're going to read one verse, verse 12. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So you trying to exalt yourself, the Lord going to deal with you. But if you humble, he's going to deal with you, and he's going to lift you up. You know, you're going to get the praise, but he going to praise you. He going to say, hey, this brother, this sister right here, they fear me enough to be humble and to do my works. Then I'm going to take care of them. But if you puff yourself up, you're in the same category as Satan. You're going to be an abomination to him. All right? Let's go to Psalms 10 now. Psalms 10. Psalms 10, and we're going to read verses 2 to 4. Psalms 10, we're going to start with verse 2, and we're going to read 2 to 4. Verse 2. The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken into the vices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasts of his heart desire, and blesses the covetous whom the Lord abhor. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. And that's what I'm saying. We tend to get prideful and say, I did this. It wasn't for me, you wouldn't be this way. But you got to remember, the Lord, it went for the Lord. You wouldn't be able to have the power or the strength to be able to do what you did. Okay? So it said, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in his thoughts. We tend to forget about him. All right? So we got to be very mindful. If it wasn't for the Lord waking you up that morning, or even bless you with that job, or whatever it is you do, you wouldn't have the strength or the encouragement to even do it, because it's all God's hand. He'll allow you to do it, okay? So we can't lose track on who it is. That's why we have to remain humble, okay? Matthew 5 now. Matthew 5. And we're going to pick it up in verse 3. Matthew 5, we're going to pick it up in verse 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So the Lord says, it's nothing but blessings when you humble, when you meek. You know, he said you shall inherit the earth. So that's why we have to listen, because the Lord never steer us wrong. We got to remain humble, because he resisted the proud and give grace to the humble. All right? 2 Timothy 3 now. 2 Timothy 3. And we're going to pick up at verse 1. We're going to skip around. 2 Timothy 3 and 1. This know also that in the last days we're living in now, perilous times shall come. For man shall be lovers of their own self, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. All right, let's skip down to verse 4. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Because if we love in pleasures more than loving God, that's why we're so prideful and have all this pride in us, because we forget that the Lord is in control. We want to take the credit for everything. So we have to remain humble, okay? Skip down to verse 10. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, and patience. And you think about the Lord have so much patience and grace with us, you know, that he gives us opportunity to get things right. And we should be the same way. Because like I said, remember, we were all ignorant at once. So we have to remain humble, okay? Now we're going to read one more verse. We're going to go to James 4. James 4. We're going to pick up at verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore be a friend of this world is an enemy to God. Now I know I read this earlier, but just to reiterate this. Verse 5. Do you think that the scripture says in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us loveth to envy? But it giveth more grace, wherefore he said, God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace unto the humble. Verse 7. Submit yourself therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hand, ye sinners, and purify your heart, ye double-minded. Verse 10. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. And that's the only person that you're supposed to be trying to please, is the Lord. So we need to humble ourselves and do what is written, because God resists the proud and giveth grace to the humble. And that's the lesson. I hope someone got some understanding. In Jesus' name.
Look out, signs are upon the earth. He will soon return. You know of him, the immaculate birth. He was also there in the days of old, talking through burning bushes.